Hello, good evening. Hello, welcome everyone to round number 6 of the F6 group for PSGL. I am commentator Redmat, and today we are at the fabulous Silverstone circuit, as already we have two cars inside each other coming out the pit lane, so it's already off to a fantastic start. We have 18 drivers here today, and it's quite a close championship here in the F6 group. There's no Evil Dragon tonight, as he has personal issues, to which I hope they get sorted soon and he gets well soon. I hope he's okay. That's the main thing. But here we are, one of the oldest circuits on the Formula 1 calendar. So let's look at the circuit here. So now we'll go look through the constructors. Currently our constructors champions, well, say champions, top of the table at the moment currently is Alfa Romeo of Tunetank and Wolsey. So they're going to see if they can solidify their lead in the championship. Then behind them by 17 points is McLaren, and joining them behind is Mercedes. As I do apologise, I'll turn game audio down so I can't hear myself think. This is not a very, very professional broadcast, but again, I was only expected to be co-coms, and then within about half an hour I got told I am the main commentator for tonight, so I do apologise if I'm a bit rusty. And yeah, not one of my most favourite tracks, Silverstone. I know that can upset a lot of people, but yeah, I'm more of a Belgium Spa-Francorchamps person. Totally not because I've been at the circuit, as we already have a yellow flag in Sector 3, but that's highly likely because we have drivers backing up, trying to make space on the circuit. Before the stream, I was watching F2 as the newly head of commentators, Jess Games. Fantastic to have her on board. She does a fantastic job in other leagues, so congratulations to her in getting the role as head comms for PSGL. So the pole position time for F2, I believe, was a 125.9. So with the F6 lot, we'll probably be looking at the low 126s. As we see, unfortunately, Tibos invalidate. It's quite easy to do round here. I know for sure it is for me when I've been around here. Really hard to set a valid lap time. Here we are now on board of VER Kelvin, who currently, just looking at the championship, he is currently 18th with only 1 point on the board. Will we see him get up the standings here? Wait, this is just a short line down the straight, and he's not on the lap currently. Silly mate. How's the Mercedes of Borrell doing? As he almost loses the rear using too much curve, and he rightfully backs out. That was a bit of a hairy moment there for Borrell there. And the McLaren driver has invalidated, so my point proven. Trying to set a valid lap around here seems to be quite difficult. How can the Haas driver of IFR Herald do? In the standings currently he is 15th. Couple of points finishes, as we see our first time from his teammate Harry B. For viewers, thank you very much for watching the stream. Yep, it is not Evil Dragon today, it is Redmat. Nice to have you here with us tonight. Again, see how close they can get. I'm guessing pole position will be a 126.1 or 26 dead, as we have Wolsey on the medium tyres. Nice little benchmark time there, as we have the Red Bull driver of Ben, 126.6. The track is getting a bit quicker. I mean, the qualifying time, you have to add another minute onto there because there is a little bug where the time is a minute ahead, as the Haas driver sets his first lap time of a 126.87. Well, we've had a couple of drivers already invalidate, which is very unfortunate. So I'll be interested to see who do you think will win the race tonight. Let us know in the comments below. I'll do my best to follow what I can. Are we streaming? Because I can't seem to find the stream. Right, okay, I may have done a bit of a hiccup, I think, on the title of today's video. Have I put F4? No, I have not. So for some reason, are we streaming? Because I can't see my stream anywhere, so if you just give us a little message in the chat just to let us know the stream is working, that would be ever so great, because for some reason I can't see it at the moment. Yes, we are streaming. Ignore me. I am being thick as out. Sleeky, hello. Welcome to the stream. As we get back to racing after me worrying about unnecessary things, we have the McLaren of Ronan, currently on provisional pole, 126.439. Nice little solid banker lap there from him. Who else is on a lap currently? I've got to go aboard of Ollie Flavel. Where is he currently in the standings? Currently 22nd place, is set to 126.9, so P7 there or thereabouts. See if now Cybig can get a lap time on the board. With Romanino, the teammate of Ollie Flavel. See what he can do here. Bit of a lot of curb there at the exit, sacrificing this exit towards the last corner. Whereas this put him in the 26s, only just a 26.944 from the Williams driver. So all the drivers now will be going back into the pits, getting another fresh set of boots on. Jake trying to do alternate lap time of setting them on the medium tyres. Nice to see a bit of variety of strategy. Nice helmet there, Sebastian Vettel-esque here of Cybig, as he chucks that McLaren into the corners. To Brooklands as he exits Liftfield into Woodcut. Now, will he do it flat through Cops? I think it's a little lift off throttle. He does it flat out. He's got the car underneath him. A lot of confidence in there. Me for sure would have lost the rear end and ended up into the barrier where Max Verstappen went side by side with Hamilton. And yeah, we won't speak of that incident anymore. 103.0 in the middle sector. The game's not telling me he's gone purple. So he chucks the car in now into Stowe as we go into Vale. Got a yellow flag in sector 1 that looks like a car is coming out the pit lane. What lap time will the McLaren driver Sabig do? It's been looking okay so far at 26.7. Couple of tenths away from his teammate Ronan, which is a good start for them in the constructors battle. As the Mercedes Radussi invalidates his lap. I'm going to go see if we can fly on board with anybody as we do a hot lap commentary, as well see it's invalidated as well. I for sure would struggle to set a lap round here. In terms of struggling, track limits, I am quite bad for that, especially through here. Through Maggots and Beckett's, it's so easy to just take too much curb and the rear end slides, and then that's your lap time deleted. What can the Alfa Romeo boys do of the Tamo? Supposedly purple in sector 1. It's not got a lap time on the board yet. It's just short shifting to try and put the power down as quickly as possible. As we head into Cops, you have to turn in the car just right, just after the 50-metre board. Proper on the limits there. Any more wider there, that would have been an invalid lap time. Flat out through here and then lift off throttle down to 7th and flick down to 5th to try and get the nose bent into the corner, upshift 6th. Make sure that rear end does not go a bit squirmy. 103.1, a tenth off Cybig's middle sector. Quick downshift of the gears to try and get that front nose into the corner. Now it's make or break in the last sector as we come into Vale and the exit of Club. Where's this put him at 126.7? A lot of drivers in the 7s as you look between P4 to 7. Not a lot separates them. So it's looking like a very interesting grid so far. We have a yellow flag through Maggots and Beckett's. Looks like someone's had a bit of an off there. So currently we've had medium runners from Jake and Wolsey, so we're yet to see a representative time from them two there. As we have the gaps of the leaders. Yellow flag in sector 3. I can't see because the track map is red. 10 viewers, thank you very much for tuning in to F6 tonight. Hopefully we have no desync issues with every yellow flag, but that's again looking like a car that's just letting a faster driver by. So let's ride on ball with the Ferrari driver of Sherman, who currently is 19th. He's had no points finishes so far, and his previous round in Italy was a did not finish. So he'll be looking to get some points on the board round here as he, according to my data, well, according to my end, he's purple in the first sector by 10th. And somehow he's kept it within track limits, so trick there is to dip a wheel in the gravel and it won't invalidate your lap time. As we have a Haas spun at the exit of Beckett's. I believe it is Beckett's. Slap me if I'm wrong. Let's get my track mapped up. It is Chapel. I do apologise. Just looks like he's taken a bit too much curb and the rear end's just gone, you're having a laugh, mate, and completely spun. 103.2 in the middle sector for the Ferrari. A couple of tenths off the McLaren of Ronan. The yellow flag in sector 3. I think that's just a Haas driver going into the pits, and Sherman doesn't think that lap time is worthy and goes into the pit lane. The longest pit lanes in Formula 1 this, as Nino decides to not bother taking the corner, rightfully so, and yeah, that was a bit of a hair and scare moment there, Nino. Well held, son. I think he may want to go into the pit lane and have a change of underpants there, I think. A bit of a hairy moment there. Hopefully he's not starting the race on them tyres, otherwise it will be a bigger disadvantage, but saying that, down in P13, he'll have a free range of tyres round here anyhow. So Silverstone tends to mix up the grid as we saw in the PC PSGL race in F1. I believe there was a safety car, and then yeah, they pitted under the safety car. Just half the deficit of how long the pit lane is. It's about 30 seconds I think is the pit lane, as another Williams goes off at the exit of Chapel. A lot of drivers really trying to push now, find the limits there through Maggots and Beckett's, of course, with these cars. Having a lot less downforce, the car is just not with them. There's a lot of drivers now into the pits, as now the track is ramping up now, as it will be at the best it is now. On my screen it says 3:26, but do add another minute on to that time, as you know, for some reason in spectator mode we are a minute ahead, which I have no idea how that works, but we move. We're currently a championship leader, Shabby 2K in the AlphaTauri. Don't believe he's here tonight, actually. Is he not? No. I don't believe he's here tonight. So, it's a strange one there. So, who's in to replace him tonight? It is Listy. I think that's how you say it. Mickelit. I'm going to call him Mickelit. But currently our championship leader is not here tonight, so second in the standings, Wolsey will be looking to capitalise on that, but at the moment he's down in P16. So hopefully I'm not jinxed him, but it's a great opportunity to gain ground on the championship. But saying that, from 4th to 1st it's only a 10-point gap, so it could be Wolsey, it could be Ronan, it could be Harry. Should just see Tom our trappy former, who could be at the top of the championship by the end of tonight. But me having dyscalculia, I cannot really give an accurate live standing update, which I do apologise for not being the most intelligent human being out there in the world, but we move on. So let's see what Wolsey can do in the Alfa Romeo. Can we try and get to the 126 ones or even the 26 deads, as we have Sybig, who retired from the session. I don't think he has enough time to go around the track. Strudusy retires as well. Go onto the exit. Our village a bit twitchy there, be losing a couple of tenths out of here, flicking the DRS open wide open to go under the bridge where Raikkonen had his big crash here in 2014. Now Brooklyn's, you just want to hope the car slows down. He's braking whilst turning, very easy to lock up here, but then here around Luffield you want to sort of go wide and then tighten on the exit so it opens up Woodcut, so you've got a lot more speed going into cups. Whereas now just after the 50 metre board, flick the car straight in. Very nice done there from Wellesley. It's looking very promising so far. Now, touching wood, I've not jinxed him. Into Maggots, into Beckett's, flick into 7th, flick to 5th. Get that front end nicely in there. Very nice through there. What's this? A 1:03.1. I think that's just a couple of seconds off. A couple of tenths off Rona's middle sector. But he's 4 tenths up on his personal best. Bit cautious through Stowe, so we go into Vale. As Kelvin has been disqualified for parking in a dangerous location. What's happened there then? As I do apologise whilst he goes up into P10, but I wonder if he'd be hoping to sort of be out-qualified by someone below to try and get a fresh set of tyres. But what's happened to Wolsey there? Just looks like he's tried to park or retire in a safe location, but he's been disqualified. As Tom goes on provisional pole of a 126.3. Nino just behind. Look how close it is between the top 3 so far. Unbelievable. We follow the end of the lap of Mickelstein as he has invalidated. Who else is on the end of the lap? Harry in the Haas car. Where does this put him? Only just behind Tom. A 126.401. Wolsey is currently on a lap and he's gone a bit wide, and that is that for Wolsey. A second place man in the driver's standing can only manage P14. How can you join PSGL? You ask, Omar? Well, ask you go onto Twitter at PSGL F1, I think it is. I do apologise. We'll go into our Twitter and then all the details will be on there on how you can join the league. Very friendly bunch here we are at PSGL. Despite how frustrated we get at this game, we maintain our professional standards. But nevertheless, it is the Alpine of Tom who clinches pole here at Silverstone, followed closely behind by 3 other drivers of Harry, Nino and Ronan. 4 different constructors within the top 4, which will be very interesting in terms of the constructors battle. Alfa Romeo have not had a great qualifying session, so they'll be looking to make up ground in the race. But the Ferrari driver is Sherman in P5, Ben and Jake, the 2 Red Bull drivers, closely behind Struzzi, Ollie Flavel and Burrell round off the top 10. But yeah, look, the 2 Alfa Romeos down in P13, P14, not ideal to gain ground on the Constructors' Championship. So this is going to be an interesting race. And just do we look at the drivers' standings? So currently we have Shabby 2K, who is currently not with us tonight. And then we have Wolsey in the Alfa Romeo in second place, who was looking to gain ground on the championship, but being down in, was it P14? It's not going to be a great start to him, but as you can see, it's raining. It's around Silverstone. Maybe that's why some drivers are out of position, because they've applied more downforce in preparation for this race. Turn 1's going to be really interesting, as I know this track in the wet can make the rear end really, really twitchy. But this should be a very exciting race, and I hope everyone sat at home has got a nice drink. You've got about a minute, 2 minutes for them to go around the track. So get yourself a drink, get yourself some snacks, because I reckon this race is going to be an exciting one. Let us know in the comments, who do you think is going to be the race winner? Me personally, I have no idea. I do follow this league, but with the wet conditions, possible changeable conditions, I ain't a clue. Really ain't a clue. So yeah, if you search onto our Twitter at PremierSimGL, if you're interested in joining this league, or just send the Twitter a DM and one of the admins will get in touch with you. I'm really excited for this race, honestly. Wet conditions always spices us up. Jake in the comments, Ben McQuan is winning this. Down in P6, possibly. All it will take is a safety car and a cheeky pit stop, and that could be race one here and there, but overtaking around Silverstone is not impossible. For some reason it's got rid of my telemetry. So we will look at the position changes and gaps to their intervals, so I know where the closest battles are, so you lot at home do not miss a single piece of the action. So we have Wolsey trying to gain ground on the championship on absentee Shabby 2K. Ronan in the McLaren, closely there in P4. He's in the best position at the moment to gain ground on the championship. Very close between, between the top 10 even, actually. All it'll take is one DNF from the drivers above, and it could even be Borrell if drivers in front DNF, which hopefully does not happen. Could end up leading the race, so the top 10 separated by around 20 points. So it's all to play for here, as we now await for lights out here at the Silverstone Grand Prix. We have 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and it's lights out and away we go. It seems to be an okay start from everybody else, quite an even start. For everybody, the Alpine goes into turn 1 in the lead, followed by the Haas driver. Going side by side actually through turn 3. Who comes out on top here? It will be the Haas driver, but Nino goes for a cheeky little switchback here, which he covers that nicely, but sneakily going down the inside is the Williams drivers of Nino. Will he make it stick? He does indeed, and that is him up into P2. Further down the back, we seem to have contact between a Red Bull and the Mercedes of Jake and Borrell, and we seem to have a virtual safety car. So we look there, we have the front wing missing of Sybig, so with debris on track, could this be upgraded to a full course yellow safety car? We will have to wait and see, because it does do this on this game. Of course, around at Silverstone, being Britain, we see the Aston Martin safety car. But at the moment, VSC, so it's not really what Sybig was hoping for. But look at the biggest gainer there, Wolsey and Tamo. It's a great start from them. Looking to get some more points in the constructors for Alfa Romeo. We're currently in the driver's standings. Ronan is in the best place at the moment. Currently sitting in P3, but only behind the leader, 4 points. Who did not finish in the previous race. Our previous race winner, Harry, who is a reserve, currently sitting in P3, as he has now just lost his front wing and now gets given a 5-second time penalty. I wonder if he just got caught out. Did Nino have a sudden drop in delta, have to apply the brakes? It's really clumsy little incident there. As now Sybig has now been given a drive-through penalty to add to his woes, losing his front wing on lap 1. How unfortunate for Harry, and even worse for Sybig, who now has to drive a drive-through penalty after already pitting at one of the longest pit lanes in the Formula 1 calendar. How unfortunate. Anyway, let's go back onto the action on track currently. Closest battle on track is between Sherman and Ronan, going side by side. Through Woodcut, who will back out here? It will be Ronan, but Ronan is looking to go down the inside as he thinks better of it, and the Ferrari of Sherman is now up into P3. Ronan still will technically take the lead of the championship if it stays this way, but still we still have 24 laps to go round here, as Tom has just romped away already, using his overtake to try and break away from the slipstream which does exist on this game. So it's sort of a bit of a slipstream train now. To look at the Aston Martin, having a little cheeky look down the inside, but no moves avail here. All it takes is one little twitch of the rear end and the driver behind to sneak down the inside. And that would be a moved and position gain. We have Tom currently setting the pace of 138.4. We have a yellow flag in sector 3. Is that the other Haas driver? It is indeed. Looks like he's just lost a rear end, maybe clipped the curb or maybe been in contact with another driver, but we'll have to wait and see. As we have Harry in for another pit stop. Has he picked up more damage somewhere? Possibly. Currently the race has sort of hit a bit of a stalemate at the moment. I think the drivers are just trying to keep it on the track at the moment, really, currently. Do you blame them? Not really, no. It seems to be the battle for 5th at the moment, as all the drivers are really close with each other. Ronan seems to be struggling a bit in these conditions. So I wonder if he's picked up a little bit of a knock from maybe going side by side from a driver earlier on in the race, because all it takes is a tiny bit of damage you pick up and it really does affect the handling of the car. As Ollie Flavel looks like he had a bit of wheel spin actually on the exit there. Looks how close the cars are together between P4 all the way down to P11. So it's all the way until you go out of the points. No sign of changeable conditions. If you look at the Aston Martin, sorry, going sneakily down the inside, bit of wheel banging side by side action. Ollie Flavel was caught napping a bit there actually, and now it's the Aston Martin up into P6. I do apologise, I did not expect that to happen, but what a move there from the Aston Martin drivers. Now he goes down to pursue the Red Bull of Ben, who seems to go a bit wide at turn 2. He must be aware now of Tibos gaining ground on him, so Ben will have to try and clear this McLaren in front of him. I don't know about you, but the track looks like it's gotten a bit wetter. So will we see drivers pit for full wets maybe? I'm not sure. It could be a graphical glitch. I do not know. We move on. Still we have in the lead is Tom in the Alpine, followed by Nino, who is just under 2 seconds away. Our biggest gainers so far is Mika and Kelvin. Kelvin having that unfortunate disqualification, which I still don't understand what happened there. I'll find out hopefully in the F6 chat or in the steward's room to see what exactly happened there, because I really would like to know. But there's no DRS at the moment here, so is all depending on the exit the drivers get as Tibos. I've noticed what he does here at Stowe is he goes in a bit wide, but then he gets a really good exit out into Vale, which must have led him into that move around the outside of Flavel to currently gain P6. We have 22 drivers. Welcome to F6. We have wet conditions here as Tibos has got a really nice run through Abbey. Does he look to have a little nosy down the inside? No, but he's letting Ben know he's there. He's in the mirrors. If we look behind here, we have the AlphaTauri doing a move on Mika. Just caught the end of that. I do apologise. With cars being in so close proximity with each other between P4 all the way down to, what is it, P11. And unfortunately we have been given a drive through to Sybig, who sped under the virtual safety car, and then Harry, who lost his front wing during the virtual safety car. It's Tybig making himself wide in the mirrors of Ben, trying to maybe put him under a bit of pressure here, but you can get through Maggots and Beckett's in one piece. You're all set for another lap here. Me personally, with the loss of race, we have the McLaren. I believe that is Sybig, who has lost his front wing again. Will that bring out another virtual safety car? No, it does not. So I hope the driver doesn't pick up a puncture here as we look at Ben having a little sneaky look down the inside at Stowe. Runs a bit wide here, just for making vulnerable. Will he look to go round the outside? The move Tibos did on Ollie Flavel earlier. Side by side here, very close here, but on the outside gets better traction. Does Ronan. Ronan maintains P4. Now this puts Ben under pressure from the Aston Martin behind him. Very good racing for everybody here in F6, as you expect in PSGL. It's an opportunistic move here from Tibos, but Ben closes the door, saying, "What are you doing, son?" Not having any of that. We have a bit of front wing damage given to somebody. That looks like it's from the Alfa Romeo, and the Williams of Ollie Flavel tried to put the power down, and looks like he's unfortunately lost the rear on the curb there. It's very unfortunate for Ollie Flavel. We still have 20 laps to go of this race. All it will take is a safety car or a change of conditions, and he'll be back in the race. But one of the biggest factors here is we have the Alfa Romeo. I think it was Tamo who had front end plate damage. As we have look at the AlphaTauri clear the Tamo, as the Tamo with that front wing damage, yeah, has gone wide, and that's left the door open for the Aston Martin. We're going to go side by side through Maggots, but Tamo does not have the front end, and now Kelvin, starting from the back of the grid, is now on his way up into P10, but moving further up the grid. Can the Red Bull Ben clear this McLaren? Ronan has been defending his position very well, I must say, but it must be frustrating the drivers behind. It's good to see the gap that's opened up in front of 5 seconds between the top three. He tried to look around the outside again, but no. But we've got Tibos, who's gone wide to get a really good exit out of the last corner. Caught Ben napping a bit there. And now that's Tibos up into P5. Can he now clear the McLaren of what Ben could not? Jake's prediction of Ben winning of the race is not looking good so far, as we have a yellow flag in sector 3, and I believe that looks like it is, unfortunately, again, Ollie Flavel, who has been trying to push to get back up the grid. Hopefully he didn't pick up any front wing damage here as we focus on the battle for 4th. It's all in a nice little conga at the moment. I'm not going to sing the song. It's bad enough you having to listen to my voice tonight, which I do apologise. It is Red Matt tonight, not Mr. Evil Dragon, who I hope everything on his end gets sorted soon. So currently our championship leader, whilst is not here tonight, so Wolsey, who's currently in P2, down to P7. Ronan, the way things stand, will take the lead of the championship, I believe. So we focus on this battle here as Tibos is really, really good in the last sector. As Ronan looks to defend, will the Aston Martin driver look to go around the outside, or will he open up the corner to get a really good exit out the last corner? He does indeed. We're going side by side through the last corner. Careful with the inside curve, that can really upset the balance of the car as Ronan goes all four wheels off the track. Now, would he need to get the position back there? No, it's a bit 50-50, but Tibos just has so much more confidence in the car. Does he look to go down the inside? He does not. Ronan, I don't know if he's just got the balance completely wrong, but his car just doesn't look to have as much grip as Tibos's does at the moment. That lovely helmet of Tibos. And a nice number as well. I like the number 8, totally not because number 8 is my driver's number in other leagues, which I will not mention. Which terms and conditions, I do not want to break them and upset the fellow admins of PSGL who do a lot of work behind the scenes to bring you the content, to get the commentary, to get the league streamed here, and they find commentators like me, which you'll be wondering where on earth they got me from. Fun fact, I asked them. Anyway, go back to the racing. Ronan really trying to push the limit of that car. Just tries to break the slipstream of Tibos. Tibos has a little look down the inside to try and nerve Ronan. Ronan even, not Ronan. I was thinking of Guardians of the Galaxy, I do apologise. He stays in P4 as you think he might have picked up a warning there, Tibos. You don't want to pick up too many of them. This may affect your end race result. Now currently on lap 9 out of 26. Biggest gainer so far is Tibos, and so far my driver of the day, because he just seems to have so much more confidence in these conditions. I'm touching wood, as I do not want to jinx him one bit, as we have Strudusi picking up a 3-second time penalty. Yes, I do apologise. The Red Bull driver has just tried to sneak down the inside. Bit of payback to what he did at the last corner to Tibos. Now Tibos has to think about defending against the Red Bull. I tell you one thing, I'm being caught napping here. I don't even expect these moves to happen. Unbelievable. We're just looking at the gap now between... I mean, Sherman is just in a race of his own, this man in his own business. As we have a yellow flag. Is that Herald? Tis indeed. Looks like he just lost the rear end. But he'll be back up the grid in no time. Just keeps it on the track, as this battle here will be bringing more and more drivers into contention for P4. It's now Harry. Picks up another 3-second time penalty. Down 15 positions is Harry, as Tom marks his stamp on P1 at the moment, as Nino does have a 3-second time penalty. So Tom will be aware of that, but all it will take is one safety car, one VSC for someone to pit, and that will be a big factor in the race. Again, with this being one of the longest pit lanes in the grid. It's not over till it's over here at Silverstone. I must say, Ronan in P4 has held the pressure very, very well. And of course, he's been holding his ERS very well as well. As look at Tibos is on about 60%, and when I left run, he was on 90%. And with it being wet conditions, I don't think you get indicated to when they're low on ERS. Do say something in the comments, but I'm not sure how do drivers know if the driver in front is low on ERS. I don't think it tells you. I'm just looking at all the drivers now, all the way down to P9. Well, I was about to say P10, but Kelvin picked up a penalty on the previous lap. But they all don't have penalties. All it will take is one of the drivers in front to get a 3-second time penalty. For example, Run, if he gets a 3-second time penalty, that will drop him all the way down to 9th. But Roan knows if he gets P4, this will put him in a great position for the championship. Roan defends the inside. Tibos is trying to look around the outside, rule the door open. There's a bit of contact there. Or does Tibos back out? No, he does not. And that's him up into P4, but now the McLaren driver is going to look down the inside of Abbey. And that is Ronan now back on the inside. Now the Red Bull driver of Ben is very opportunistic, wheel banging, and he's been forced off the road there. That looks like a bit of a loss of rear from Ben. And Tibos' progress is now got him tumbling down to 10th place, and now he's got a 3-second time penalty to suffer from that. That'll for sure be going to the stewards. There's a bit of concertina effect there, a bit of contact through Ronan. And then contact with Ben. Hopefully he didn't pick up any damage there, did the Aston Martin driver. Who now hopefully keeps a cool head and gets back into the battle. He hasn't fallen too far back, but hopefully hasn't picked up any damage. But again, the McLaren driver of Run still in P4. After the amount of times the car behind has tried to overtake him, he's defended that position very, very well. We're now already on lap 12 as tell you what, Nino is actually slowly gaining on Tom, so Tom's cruise to the finish isn't looking as calm as look at Ben now trying to open up the exit of Vale into Club, but he just can't get the power down. He cannot get past that McLaren of Roan. What is it that McLaren's got? It's a rocket in the straight line or something. But it looks like the sky is actually brightening up a bit. So we look ahead now. The Ferrari driver of Sherman is just in a league of his own at the moment. He's in the middle of nowhere. He's 10 seconds clear of Nino and 11 seconds clear of the battle for fourth, which is occupied by Roan at the moment. But Ben has to be careful here because he wants to try and get a really good exit out of the corner by going wide and then tightening up on the exit to get a good run, but in doing so it leaves the door open for Wolsey. So it's really difficult here because drivers don't want to risk going for a move and then losing another position. Roan knows that, so all he has to do is defend a position and not have to have the risk of gaining a position. I hope that made sense. It made sense in my head, but now I think it's come out in the open, it doesn't. But Ben has gotten a really good exit out of Chapel. Will he look to go around the outside of Stowe? Squeezing him out a bit there is Roan. Seems to be all fair play. So looks to go around the outside into Club, but again, Roan defends that inside line, and now Ben is still behind that McLaren of Roan. It must be getting really frustrating. We had the lead drivers, what is it doing, 36.7? So they're about at least a second and a half off the late race leader's pace. So we have Tibos coming into the pits. I put my tyre indicator on to see, is he going to pit for another set of intermediates, or will he risk going for a set of soft tyres? Because I don't know, you know what this spectator cam is like. It could be wet on my end of the screen, but on theirs it's dry. But it looks like to me he's pitted for another set of intermediates. So I'm guessing by that indication there is not going to be a change in conditions. If we look at penalties, currently Nino with 3 seconds, but the gap he's got to Sherman at the moment, he has nothing to worry about. Sort of hit a bit of a quiet moment now because I think the drivers, I don't know if they're trying to save the tyres to get to the crossover point, because you don't need to do a pit stop in wet conditions. However, Will the intermediates last that long? Again, around the 30-second pit lane. You really do not want to risk losing that amount of time knowing you can get the tyres towards the end. But with Tom pushing so much, will he have the tyres towards the end of the race? As Sherman now picks up a 3-second time penalty, but really is nothing to worry about with the gap between P3 and P4 at the moment. But it's just a bit of a congo at the moment. P4 down to P9 of to Kelvin. I do feel sorry for Tibos, so I jinxed him a bit here, saying he was my driver of the day. He's got a lot of confidence in the car, and then that little incident happened. Which I do apologise. I'll be probably getting a little cheeky DM from him in Discord saying, can you not jinx me again one more time? Don't worry, that shouldn't happen because Evo Dragon should be back next week. Unless you have to put up with my voice again. Which, hopefully for your blessed ears, you don't have to. But let's look at the biggest gainers so far. Mika and Kelvin up 9 positions. Great recovery drive from them so far. Probably set the car at 4 wet conditions. It's been great from there. As the dirtier shows a bit of a sign there as Ben understeers a bit from Ronan, but Wolsey isn't too far behind. But Ben seems to have a bit more straight line speed from the guest there, because they're both using overtake, both in the slipstream. As Ronan looks to defend the inside line again, which I didn't think there was really a need to, but again he'll be parking it on the apex. I do apologise, speak up Matthew. And again Ben still stays down in P5, and that gap now to P3 is now 14 seconds. So now if there was a VSC, the drivers in front could, I believe, pit and come out ahead of these gaggle of cars. Unbelievable looking down further down the grid. All the other drivers are spaced out. The battles on track currently is between P4 and P9. Which is why the stream is purely focused on this. Saying that though, Borrell and Tamo are getting a bit close together on track. Tamo currently in the stands. We'll try and find that Tamo. Because I can't find him at the moment in the standings. I think it's top. I think it is. I'm not sure. Totano, yeah, he's currently P8 in the standings, had a DNF in the previous race and 0 points at Zandvoort, so we'll be looking to try and get some points back onto the board. As Tamo is 6/10 behind the Borrell, but now we focus our battle. Will Ben now get past on lap 16 going into 17, get past this McLaren? Because he's left the door wide open on the exit, hit the sausage curve. He's going to go look around the outside here, and the McLaren almost loses it. And my goodness gracious me, Ben has overtaken the McLaren, and now Ben can go hunting down. P3 is now look behind the McLaren. I think has lost his head a bit now as he just destroys the brake marker board, the 50 brake marker board. Wolsey is now gone by, and now the AlphaTauri Mikkel now gets past the McLaren. So all the hard work of maintaining P4 is now halved. He's now doubled number 4, and now to P8. Now it's gone down to P9. It's literally all fallen apart now for Ronan, defending P4, and now in a matter of half a lap he's now down in P9. Now will he be looking to pit for a fresh set of tyres? Just have to wait and see. But now the pack will now get up to a bit more speed. Now be able to see if they can gain any ground on the top 3. I mean, they're what, 15 seconds behind Sherman, so Ben will know this. So we'll be hoping for a safety car of some form, but we're on lap 17 out of 26. I don't think we'll be seeing any pit stops I'm not sure what the intermediate tyre is like around here. I'm not sure what the tyre rating is, but I'm pretty sure Silverstone isn't that bad for tyre wear. But it's looking on his indicator. That is telling him to box, but I don't know about you guys. It has stopped raining. Roan is now into the pit lane. Is this a sign that we're going to see dry tyres coming on to the circuit as it has stopped raining? We shall wait and see, and there you have it, folks. Roan is now on the soft tyre. Drivers will be eagle-eyed to see as we have a yellow flag in Sector 3. Is this Stradiusi? Stradiusi looks to me he has lost the rear. So we now have a yellow flag in Sector 1. That looks like the McLaren, the Mercedes of Stradiusi is overheated his rear tyres. But now, what will the progress of Roan be like? It still looks really wet, but as you know on spectator cam, it looks wetter than it is for them. So two McLaren drivers are risking it here, but it just looks way too wet at the moment. Just looking at the rear end, twitching all over the place. The track does look to be ramping up now on those 17 laps old inters, and we're seeing fastest laps. So once we see a fastest lap from the dry compound runners, then will be the time to pit. Yellow flag in Sector 1, that's the McLaren of Seibig, who has spun it again. Down the Wellington Straight. So now, I think now the drivers are just sort of waiting on when to pit. They don't want to pit too early, or they don't want to pit too late. You have to time it absolutely right. Have I not mentioned that this is one of the longest pit lanes in the F1 calendar? I'll mention it again anyway. Yes, it is the longest pit lane in the calendar. As we now have Stradiusi in that Mercedes, it looks to have killed his intermediate tyres from spinning. Now will he go into another set of intermediates, or will he just persevere and go for a set of soft tyres and hope for a safety car? He does indeed pit for a set of soft tyres. I put now the tyre indicator on, as I would like to know to see who will be on the softest tyre, what tyre everyone will be on. So it's all really now a waiting game. Who risks staying out on the intermediate tyres, get to the end, because around 25 to 30 seconds is a lot of time to make up. Especially around Silverstone. Even with Hamilton having a punctured tyre. What was it, around 20 odd seconds ahead, and he still finished in first place behind Verstappen. Seibig struggling to stay on track. No retirees yet in this race, but I have a feeling the way the McLaren drivers have gone today, it's not going to be. But with Wolsey currently in P5, this could, I believe it does give Alfa Romeo a stronger stance in the Constructors' Championship. McLaren not gone off to a great home race, I must say. So it's not been a weekend to remember. Stradiusi as DNF'd. Oh my goodness, mate. It is now a sprint race to the end. We have a safety car because the Mercedes of Stradiusi looks to have binned it. Looking at the debris, it looks like he was trying to put the throttle down and has lost the rear end. Now, where were the lead drivers? They are pitting. They are pitting. Will this now be a set of intermediate tyres, or will this be a fresh set of the soft compound of tyre? But the thing is that they don't want to risk it. It is the soft tyre. It's the soft set of tyres. Now, what drivers do not want to do is speed into the pit lane, because again, longest pit lane, 37 miles per hour pit lane limit. Slow it down. Does Ben slow it down? It does indeed. Everyone making sure they don't get an unnecessary 5-second time penalty. As oh no. Tom has spun it in the pit lane and has been disqualified. The race leaders has been disqualified from the race. How's that happened then? Why has he been disqualified from the race? Okay, you spin under the pit lane, but he has been amazing during this race, and now he's just been disqualified from the lead of the race. It's happened in F2 earlier on today. A driver's been disqualified. We now have another safety car, and now he's been disqualified for apparent blocking of the pit lane. I don't know, but if I was Tom right now, I'd be absolutely furious. What on earth caused that to happen? Why has that happened? It's beyond me. But Kelvin, however, has stayed out on intermediate. Sherman has gone onto soft tyres, but dear, unfortunately, another game. I don't know if it's a game glitch or driver error, but he's been disqualified. Has our race leader Tom. Shudrissi has left the session. If Tom's watching the stream right now, he's left the session. Unbelievable. But if he's watching the stream right now, let us know what exactly happened there. Because that to me, if you were spun in the pit lane, I don't understand why the game does not ghost you. Why should it feel the need to disqualify you? I don't understand. As we go to show what penalties drivers have now. Leader, Nino, 9 seconds worth of penalties. Sybig picks up a 3-second time penalty during the safety car, which is a bit unnecessary there, mate. But we move. So the top 4 drivers have penalties. Ben is the lead driver who does not have penalties. And there you have it. There are your penalties, Ron. Happy to have you watching the stream, but the biggest stories of this race is our race leader Tom being disqualified from the race lead. And now when the safety car ends up, well, I don't think it'll be the end of this lap, but the end of the next lap once the drivers have caught up to the pack. We'll see green flag racing, but interesting here, there's a mixture of drivers on inters, mixture of drivers on the soft compound of tyres, so it's going to be a really interesting end of the race. Sherman, who was in the middle of no man's land, I think he would have been hoping for no safety car and just take the car home into P3s. We have Tamo pick up another time penalty of up to 9 seconds. I'm surprised I've not seen any more penalties from other drivers, to tell you the truth, because it's, again, like I said earlier in qualifying, really easy to pick up a time penalty from here. So in terms of tyres, Sherman is on fresh soft tyres. Nino is currently in the lead on intermediates. Now, has Nino made a mistake here, or has Sherman made a mistake here? This is the question. Like, on the stream, it looks dry in areas. As Sherman has now gone into the pits. Has he made a mistake here? Is he going on to intermediate tyres? Have the soft runners made a mistake here? Do they not feel the track is ready enough for the dry compound of tyres? No, he does not. He's gone into a set of intermediate tyres. Now the spray's come back. Really confused here. I don't know how this race is going to end. Are the soft tyres going to really kick in towards the end? Or are the intermediates going to overheat because of a drying track? My brain has completely gone gobbledygook. 5-second time penalty for Nino. Collision with Kelvin. What's happened here then? I'm pretty sure he may appeal that. So we have currently, this is asterisk, Nino on 14 seconds worth of penalties, Kelvin on 6. Ollie Flavel behind on 3-second time penalties, but Ben, I think, is the lead driver on the soft tyres and without a penalty. So Ben, earlier prediction from Jake, I'm touching wood here because I do not want to jinx him, he is in a strong contention now of actually winning this race. If the track does dry out as quick as anticipated. Fastest lap currently set by Nino. But I really don't know how this race is going to finish. What I will show you though, who's gained the most positions. Kelvin in P2 up 16 positions, but he has not stopped. Mika, who has stopped. Ollie Flavel hasn't stopped. P2 and P3 have not stopped. Nino has. He's on a fresh set of tyres. He has a really good chance of breaking away from the pack here. Even with the penalties, he could romp away here. And the race has restarted. A great restart here from Nino as Kelvin now decides to come into the pits. And now he's been given a 5-second time penalty speeding in the pit lane. But the game is still saying there is a safety car. But Nino, what a restart from Nino. He is now broken away from the pack. 3 seconds clear. As we now have a yellow flag in sector 3, side by side. Sorry, oh my god, everything is going on. Harry's gone down the inside of turn 1. It's on the soft tyre. Now is he on the intermediate tyres, Harry? Yes, he is. The intermediate tyre seemed to be the tyre to go for. I do apologise, I'll get the tyre readings up for you. So, where does this put Ben? He's now 4 seconds clear. The soft tyres, the dry tyres are not ready. Now it's a Williams 1, 2, who are currently P6 in the standings. No points finishes at round 2. No points finishes at round 3. No points finishes for round 4 or 5. But now they're looking for a 1-2 here at Britain at their home Grand Prix, which would be incredible for them. And the dry tyre runners have just not got the pace. The tyres just aren't switched on. That will explain as Kelvin, I do apologise, has now retired from the race. Ben now picks up 3-second time penalty, trying to keep it on the road. Look at so much more confidence from the Haas driver of Harry. The dry tyres have just not switched on. I genuinely thought the soft tyres would be the ones to watch, but obviously not. Now Ben will know to stick it out and hope the track dries as the other Haas driver of Harold now goes down the inside. This race has literally been turned onto its head, apart from Nino, who has had the pace throughout the race, piling the pressure on Tom. Unfortunately, it didn't end as well as anticipated due to that unfortunate disqualification. Look at Tibos now, gaining ground again on this fresh set of intermediates. Ben has now dropped down from the race, and now we have the Alfa Romeo of Walsey, who is on the soft tyre, but the track just has not dried out as quick as what some of these drivers thought they would. And now the progress of these intermediate runners. Sherman must have known this was going to happen, because he was down in P3, but he quickly changed his mind to put a fresh set of inters on. Would you believe it? Ollie Flavel is on 23 laps old inters. I'm dreading to think what percentage rating of where he has on them intermediate tyres. I'm not going to say anything. I do not want to jinx him one bit. Sybig now picks up a 3-second time penalty. Where are we for penalties now? 14 seconds for Nino, but that's asterisks. I reckon that 5-second time penalty collision with Kelvin during the safety car may be taken off. Nino now does a 37.0. What does Flavel do behind on these really old intermediates? 37.6. So to say to run old tyres, Flavel isn't too far to pace, and say that Harry is now gone 5/10 quicker than Flavel in front, but they both have the same amount of penalties. But the Williams drivers have absolutely romped away with this. It could be on for a 1-2. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, this will be the first 1-2 in the constructors this season in F6 if Nino can clear away, as we have a yellow flag in sector 1, and that's McLaren of Seibig, I believe. It's just a race to forget, I think, for Seibig, unfortunately. But the biggest story today here is 1, Tom being disqualified, spinning at the exit of the pit lane. 2, the dry tyre runners have just not gone the way they planned. It could have gone one way or the other. They took the risk, and that's the problem with taking risks, is a decline you have if it doesn't go to plan. And that is unfortunately what's happened. But now the Red Bull is now trying to get the last podium spot. DRS is enabled. The track has dried out, but it's too little too late for the tyre runners. So Nino will be absolutely gunning it, trying to create that gap, trying to solidify his P1, or even just trying to stay on the podium at this rate. But Flavel will want that race win. Currently 22nd, no point finishes. He could be on for his first race win of the season, his first point finish of the season. We have a yellow flag in sector 3 between the Borrell and Seibig's. Tamo is now out of the race. We're moving on further onto the grid. Now with DRS enabled, drivers will have to be prepared for the overspeed as some cars have, but the soft tyre runners were hoping this happened 4 or 5 laps ago. This is too late. We will go through Maggots and Beckett's one last time with the Williams driver of Nino. He's had the pace all day today. He was there or thereabouts with Tom the entire race. This is great for Williams here. Currently at 1-2, but will he stay in front of Harry? I don't think he will. But it's an asterisk with the 14-second penalty. But on track, Nino wins the Silverstone Grand Prix. Ollie, who will speed P2 on track, but due to penalties will take the win round Britain. Harry takes P2. Nino stays on the podium. He does not. Roan somehow gets up to P3 after falling to P9 during that squabble on the intermediates before the safety car. And Thibaut, after a bit of contact with Roan, is now into P8. So that could be an asterisk on P3 for Roan as well, to penalties from the stewards room. So I do not know. But biggest position gainer Harold in the Haas, P10, so the game will probably give him driver of the day, which it does indeed. So what an action-packed race at Silverstone we've had today. Thank you everyone for watching today, as we now see the Williams driver of Ollie take the win here at Silverstone, followed by the Haas driver closely behind, and then rounding off the podium is the McLaren of Roan. So what an action-packed race we have here today. Let's go through the race results here. Ollie Flabel takes the win here. Me personally, driver of the day. No pit stops, nursed those tyres home. Great race win there from Ollie Flabel. Now behind in the Haas is Harry, and then keeping his nose clean and free in terms of penalties, Rowan in P3. Followed closely behind from Nino in the Williams with the fastest lap as well, 36.2. So great pace from Nino today. Jake in P5, Harold P6, Walsey, Tibos, Ben and Sherman, who was sitting fine and dandy in P3, but safety car really hurt his race today and he's found himself down in P10. And we'll look down the rest of the grid of Mikkel, Mika, Borrell, Tamo, Sybig, and your retirees today, Kelvin, Tom and Stradussi. So I hope everyone enjoyed today's race. Tune in next week, for which we will be at Austria, for which Evil Dragon should be back. So don't forget to follow us on Twitter. But thank you very much for watching today's stream, and thank you for PSGL for letting me commentate today. But until then, we'll see you next week for the Austrian Grand Prix. Good night.